Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Shardverse. That is Shard with a D. I know my accent makes it sound funny sometimes. We are so sorry that we weren't here last week. We're still missing some people, but we're gonna try and get some stuff done today. I hope you enjoy what we got for you, and we do a flashback to the events that had just unfolded. The characters in question, Fable, Temperance, Claire, and Rem, as well as Charity and Lollipop, had made their way down into Vest Prime, down deep into the caverns, and found the lost city of Arcadia. At least that's what the wow Caprani are calling it. Or sorry, the Capran are calling it. And they had managed to make their way down there. The Skittermander friends that they had met on the previous levels getting here had blown the only exit that they know about. And so far, they found a fountain that still has enough pre-gap magic that it counts as healing. And had just discovered a bunch of pre-gap portals on another level below, which is where we come in now. Dun dun dun. Granny Caprani is there, and she goes, I see that your friends need some rest. Let us go to the control room and see what we can do about keeping the pest out for a little while. And she takes you guys back up to the main city, and you walk into an incredibly ancient building, and there is a. Uh, who has engineering?
I do, but the last time I knew, I was still guarding the area by the stairwell.
Do any of my characters have engineering? Let us check.
Hmm.
Let me pop these out so that they're not bothering stream.
I do.
Well, there is that.
Uh-huh. I
And
had forgot that you said
It's
that.
not the greatest, but under
All right.
nothing.
Well, for you, a couple of hours have passed then, Fable,
oh,
and you see your friends come back up and go into a different building.
Temperance does as well. He's actually pretty good at it.
Mm. Ah,
Yeah, it'd probably just be like there'd probably just be a quick flicker on the comms of Raider group sit rep.
Marco. Hold up. I'm doing all right over here. I'm gonna take me a nap. They say they got stuff under control, and I just can't seem to keep my eyelids up if I.
You do not have eyelids. There are no swarm. I shall rest until there are swarm. To Ravi.
Kala.
Kala.
Beautiful, beautiful. All right, so there you go.
Now we
How do
now
you
we give them the
respond?
sleeping status.
Mm. Boop. Fable.
Yeah,
Okay.
Fable's still fairly suspicious. We don't know these people, so as far as he knows, they're presenting as being friendly, but like nobody
Make
is.
a mysticism check. Actually, that too. Yeah.
Did you want those engineering checks?
Ooh,
Yes, please.
Mysticism of 19. I could also make a culture check if necessary.
Good. I wanted that temperance. Good. All right. So first with you, the suspicious one. Um, I don't know if culture would help, but go ahead and make a culture. Let me think about it.
And that's an
So
18.
yeah. Well, none of them is a famous pilot. Um,
I was gonna say, if any of them are famous pilots,
yeah. All right. So the longer you're here, the more of the future you remember. At least you're pretty sure that's what you're remembering. But
Right.
the swarm managed to steal whatever it is that you're down here to either protect or take. And the Capran had gotten away, and in your present, there are several that have managed to, work into major organizations that are still trying to keep regular races alive and, stop whatever this mutation that you're fighting of the swarm is.
All right.
All right. Um, what is it? Perception. Give me a perception check while you're thinking about all this. I'm sorry, Temperance. I will get back to you,
No,
but
you're fine.
Mr. Suspicious.
23.
You notice a statue of a Yisekai nearby.
Uh-oh.
Hmm.
And with a perception of 23, after you stare at that for a little bit while you're, pondering and watching out and making sure none of the swarm are coming down that hole, it occurs to you that it looks kind of like Twinkle.
And okay, so I know who Twinkle is then, or was.
Yes. Uh,
So,
even in the future, the exploits of Zai's Folly and his crew are known, at least in this shardverse.
all right. I see.
Mm.
So, yeah, I would just kind of there would be a moment I was taken back for a second, pondering all of this. There's the like still gonna is still staying on guard, but like because no one has said anything about like leaving the area unprotected. He took that upon himself. He wasn't ordered to do it, but nobody has said that there's any other like anybody else guarding it other than him. So like,
I mean, except for all those Capran that were there with weapons in the first place. Once again, like I said, I
no,
know
I
you're
mean,
paranoid.
no, they were, but well, the way I the way the map is drawn, it's like the stairwell is not in the same room as all of these Capran, and I never entered that room. I stayed there where I was, so I don't know that. I know that there are people in there. I probably saw some of them as they went through the door, but I don't have any scope of how many or how well
Did you
armed or.
forget that when they exploded it, it filled the tunnel? So you'd definitely be in the room.
So that the stairwell was actually
The,
filled.
the entire stairwell, including the opening that led you into this cavern. Like you're standing next to a bunch of
All right.
rubble that used to be that stairwell. I apologize if you didn't think that's how it was, but I promise.
All right. And then
Oops.
probably
That is not what I wanted.
mm,
That's not it.
hmm.
That's not it. How many of these do I have? Did I lose it? Oh wait, no, it's right here. Okay. So,
Yeah.
yes. I apologize. Let me do this. Looks brown.
I actually, I think, what probably happens is with all these flashes of memory and having catapulted through time twice now and ending up at a place where he wasn't supposed to be, I think probably there is a point where like uh, maybe Fable's eyes start glowing like a silvery blue bluish silver, like a silvery blue, and mixed with like a silvery green, and there's like maybe a like some sort of symbol denoting time that sort of like flashes just sort of like a shadow of over, and I think Fable collapses.
Oh, damn.
Oh, that's good.
I go to him and
Wait,
check on him.
technically you're still in this room with the others, correct?
um I
No,
am
no. I apologize.
right.
Not Fable, but
Right.
Rem, aren't you with Temperance, and Charity.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
We'd all be in there.
Now, when you do collapse, it will get back to you fairly soon because Granny will tell you as soon as she knows, which will be here in just a second. But back to those awesome and amazing temperance checks. So, you are quite amazed at whatever this computer she called it is. Um, it's made of wood and precious stones. And if you made a mysticism check and utterly failed, you would know that this is magic as well. But it still seems to work on zeros and ones as you watch them type in commands. It's
Yeah,
almost
so
like a related version of DOS. That's how old it is.
so maybe as they're like typing away on it, he's using his microlab, and that hollow screen comes up, and with a few taps, it's pulling readouts of this computer,
Mm.
and on his
The
usually
mystical.
his usually expressionless face, he does kind of raise his brow, interested that this thing that's made out of rocks and wood is functioning as a computer, even if it is magical.
Mm. So it brings up a schematic of the city, and that's when you notice on the screen that it flashes to several different cameras, and each of them is a statue facing another statue. And there is a moment where you see a blue field appear over the top of where the statue's hands all are and make a half shell over the city. And they're like, that should last us a while. We're not exactly sure how to fix it, and it keeps stopping recently. That's part of the reason that we've had so many recent additions of non-Caprani. Um, while this functions, we're not really here. But whenever it decides to not work, there's a chance that if someone's in the caverns at the time, we could be found. We just recently got this fixed again, thanks to the last shipment of Veskarium engineers and soldiers that came down here to fight the threat. She uses finger quotes.
So what you're saying is that so what you're saying is this is some sort of paracausal field that removes us from reality.
It's not quite that amazing. We're still here, but while the shield is up, nothing has ever gotten in.
So more of a shield.
Mm. That's what I would call it, yes. But, yeah, and so there's that. So that means that you'll have time to rest if we can get your friend. Hang on. Uh, you hear some sort of calm noise. It sounds barbaric, like some sort of bleat. And she's like, and she flips it up and she's like, oh, we should hurry. Your friend has collapsed by the rubble that used to be the stairwell up to the higher level.
I run out there.
Okay.
Yeah, Temperance would go too. Uh, Charity kind of just standing there awkwardly. He's like, how does this thing work? Is it just by magic, or is there something else to it?
One of the actual non-grannies looks at you a little confused and goes, eh,
Oh,
it sounds much cooler than that. But yes,
I forgot.
Granny also walked out, and so there's only.
Yeah,
Well, hang on,
there's a long pause as
hang on.
the the Capran looks at Charity. Charity looks at the Capran. Both of them kind of like,
Right about that time, one of the vests that's been living here for a while comes in and looks at you all confused, and he's like, "Who's this?" First in companion, and he's like, "Who are you?" In common.
Yeah, and then in Vesk, Charity would respond, "My name is Charity Essel. I am the commander of Raider Team, a mech company sent down here to help fight the swarm."
The swarm is returned. Interesting.
Afraid so.
Also interesting. And he steps up to you and looks you up and down and goes, "One so young, in control of such forces. You must be special. Hmm.
He
So, how
kind of
can I
gets
help you?"
a awkward smile and he's like, "No, it's more that just everyone else isn't people, if you know what I mean." But what I was asking
Check
your
your chart.
You basically just said the rest of your team weren't actually people.
well, they're not people as
Make a
in
diplomacy check for that. He is a
they're
vest.
They're not social people.
they're not social people.
Ah, gee, but yeah. Oh yeah, and you get your plus.
It still somehow makes it a 21.
Hmm. You know, if I hadn't decided to stay in Arcadia, I'd fight you for that.
What?
Goodbye.
What? Today just keeps getting worse and worse. He's just gonna go
He
out
says
and
something in Caprani to one of the others, and then promptly stomps off.
just go out and be with the others.
Ah, poor Charity. Hey, but at least I wasn't the one in combat.
Yeah.
Mm. Okay. So Claire is not. Claire's already went to sleep. Rem, you make it there. They are carrying Fable towards a building that has a large red cross on the side. Hmm. Um, and there you go.
Ew. I followed it.
Okay. They don't
Cause I'm
stop
like,
you. I
you
mean, it does help that you have Granny Caprani
you would
with you, but still.
you'd probably be able to tell that outside of a couple of scuffles and scrapes from the earlier battle, like there doesn't seem to be anything physically wrong with him at the moment.
Mm. Once you get inside this building with the red cross, there are several beds and, basic instruments that you'd find at a really old hospital. Like some backwater, like, hospital that barely has anything. But there's a large cabinet on one wall that seems to be filled with vials of different colors. And they pull one out and pour it down the throat of your friend because he's unconscious. And suddenly, Fable, you wake up. You feel better than you felt in a while. And if you hadn't rested to get all your stuff back, it's back. Check your chart.
I think at this point, like he's still like there's still too much going on in his headspace. Physically, maybe he feels fine, but he mumbles some stuff that sounds vague and poetic, and his eyes still shine a little silver, and he kind of stumbles and falls over. Um,
Uh,
but otherwise, he kind of seems to have like a 1,000-yard stare, like he's looking past everyone.
did I do detect affliction?
oh, one of the Capran catches you, sets you back on your bed, and says a bunch of things that you don't understand to Granny, who then goes, "Hmm, apparently he needs sleep. And from the look in his eyes, I'd say you have someone that can see the future." And then she looks a little closer and she goes, "Or has been to the future? I'm not sure which. Like many of my people, the older ones at least, we all have that displacement of time in our eyes. And she leans towards Charity and pulls her eyelid just a little bit down, and you see a tiny glint of silver. Uh, Rest. Tell your friend to rest.
Yeah, and Charity will just like pat Fable on the shoulder while Rem is doing medical stuff, and it's just like, we're all good here now. Just take 10, yeah?
Mm.
He's just,
Uh, she. Oh, go ahead, Fable.
yeah, I think they're like mumble. There's probably amidst like the ramblings, there's something about like the future has changed again.
Mm.
Like they're but there it's kind of hard to. It sounds like it could be just delirium, maybe, but um, there is something a little fevered about it. But there is a um, I would think that probably an appropriate check for anybody who might be like mysticism, maybe, to have some vague notion. I mean, really, you're not going to find out too much more than what the Capran told you already. Yeah, as far as you're concerned, this has got to be some kind of mystical, spiritual thing, something that's not going to be healed by trying to heal the body.
Rem.
Like
Rem.
there's little you can do. You
Can
could
you hear me, Rem?
maybe.
Scott.
Yeah.
When Rem gets that 27, you see a flash before you of your friend Fable running through the back streets and alleys, firing his weapons, and you see a bug that you've never seen before. And it's literally on his heels, and then you see him jump through a portal. And then suddenly you need to make a will save or fall down.
Effectively what's effectively happening, like in mechanical terms, is his precog level surpassed his soldier level, so his precog powers are starting to take more of a hold in him. He's only used them sort of instinctively up to this point, and this would probably be something where like Rem might be able to discern, um, that whatever powers he may have gained flipping through time are starting to take a greater hold. His
Hmm.
experiences through temporal travel are taking a greater hold than his soldier training.
All right, you made it. Um, you also notice that Granny Caprani also has that same look of having just made, like seen something perhaps that she's not sharing. But she has that same look in her eyes that you feel on your body. I mean, she is a mystic too, after all.
Yeah. He needs sleep. I agree with her.
Mm.
Probably all could use some sleep for a little bit.
She
Why
looks at
not?
Temperance. She looks at Temperance. Perhaps you have something to put him down? We don't necessarily want to use all these magic potions.
Yeah, he'd probably think for a
So,
moment, and maybe there's like a flash of almost like in Cyberpunk when someone's using their internal agent, how their eyes change colors. Uh, Before he flips his wrist and out pops a special vial, and kind of looks at Fable and is like, I could administer a anesthetic that would be able to help you calm down.
I don't think he's going to stop you since he's doing his mumble thing.
Well,
I'll say just jab it
Yeah,
at him.
I
yep,
mean,
jab.
it's there. I mean, you probably get some wild, desperate flailing out of him, but he's clearly not, in his full capacity of like normally he'd probably be a bigger fight for any of you individually, maybe not as a group, but like the resistance he puts up here is more that of a desperate madman than a trained soldier.
Well, there you go. Would be basically an anesthetic, like a muscle relaxant,
Mm.
almost.
Something to make him go, oh, I can't do anything.
Something to make him go honk shoo or honk me 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 me, however he snores.
Mm-hmm. All right, so it looks like you're gonna get some sleep after all, there, Fable. Now, the rest of you, Charity, Temperance, Rim, while your other friends sleep, what will you do?
Hmm? I mean, it might be a good chance for us to rest, at least for a little bit.
So we can rest and get our spell. That's what I'm thinking.
Granny tries to reassure you that no harm will come to you. And at this point, it's been about 5 hours that you've been here. Um, you know that gnawing feeling that everyone has in their stomach about the events that have happened. Um, and of course, you've had lots of death today because you were upstairs killing. But you all feel, I don't know, a little bit better than you think you should. Like there's hope in your heart that wasn't there when you started the day fighting.
Yeah,
And go ahead.
are we put in like this same building all together?
If that's what you wish, she says. Otherwise, there are quarters.
Oh, in that case, probably the
You are
brothers are
guests. You were sent by the one who brought us in or through time in the first place.
tr-
Correct.
true. Um, the brothers are probably sharing quarters, and Temperance, for his part, is sleeping. But for most of the time, Charity is contemplating the orb, the his God, his personal upgrade,
Mhm.
the Solarian crystal, as he's just sitting cross-legged, floating just off the ground with his eyes clouded like storm clouds.
Excuse me.
You are excused.
Mm. When God sneezes, worlds are created. Mm.
And ended.
So, do you actually end up sleeping at all, or are you still going to be unrested?
Eh, it was basically just an aesthetic for resting.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. I mean, advanced players do crazy things. Um,
I
so
find the first bed and go lay in it. Just I don't.
good,
Adventurous
right?
day.
Before you actually fall asleep, Granny is still there, and she's made sure you've made it to a bed, and she gives you a blessing, but the like blessing isn't one that you like recognize really, and you sleep well. When you wake up in the morning, you feel a little bit better about life, and it actually does get morning here. When all of you wake up, which does happen, I hope. Um, there's sunlight, and you're not necessarily sure how. There's definitely
Yeah,
a day cycle here.
would that be something to look at mystically, or do they have like
Try both.
an engineering thing?
Yeah, try engineering and we'll see. Ah, lots of 25s today. I like it.
Charity doesn't know shit. Quantumly random.
Can you guys still hear him on Discord?
Oh no, I didn't know he was talking.
Yeah, I can't hear you on Discord. Yeah, nobody can hear you.
I thought he was thinking.
No, he started talking. I was like, is it just me that can't hear him in Discord? Is it on my end? Where's it at?
How about now?
There you are.
That's fucking weird. Sorry, guys. What was the last thing I said?
You had asked us to roll.
Oh dear gosh. All right. So most of that was just, oh, Temperance is angry, all of that kind of stuff. But so a few minutes after you wake up, a couple of Capran arrive with breakfast items. Um, whatever your favorite meal is what they arrive with for each of you.
It's almost a little suspicious.
And then about half an hour, well no, whenever you finish your meal, um, Granny shows up, waves her arms a little bit, and she's like, "Can everyone understand me now? If not, check the chart." Ha 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 ha. Sorry. And yeah, there's where you are.
How did you know what our favorite food was? Or is this more timey-wimey shenanigans I don't want to know about?
Oh, so follow me. It's just easier to show you.
Yeah, you get up and follow her, and Temperance would be falling behind.
So you go out and into yet another building that you hadn't been in. Beautiful stonework, everything like that. And when you get in, it looks like a restaurant. But it's all basically empty except for in the middle where the actual bar would be. It looks like some sort of replicator, and she reaches in and pulls out some crazy frothy drink, and she's like, "This is my favorite. Give it a shot."
Oh, he's definitely confused by this, but he'll gingerly take whatever was offered and give it a sip.
All right. Well, no, that was what she wanted. She wants you to use the
Oh.
replicator.
Oh, okay.
She
I
just
thought you meant like, here, try
no.
my favorite thing. Okay. Yeah, he would stare at it for a while and then almost like he's afraid it's going to bite him or something, reach his hand in.
Uh, whatever Charity's favorite drink of all time comes out. If it's a hot drink, it's the perfect temperature. If it's a cold drink, it's the perfect temperature.
But what if it's supposed to be the not perfect temperature?
Then wouldn't that make it perfect?
Then that would make it perfectly imperfect, which means it's not imperfect. The universe
Ha! Get
explodes.
another.
No, it's probably like, I don't know, a root beer float or something.
Right? And if
He's like,
anyone else tries it, same thing happens.
well, I'll be. Well, I'll be a Malquai's uncle.
That was a beautiful joke. For those of you that don't know, they are a magical, mystical. No, I'm just kidding. They are a Starfinder race that happens to be monkey-like,
They're monkey people.
but no Dex mod. All right. So yeah, and they're like, there's actually a few things like this that we're not exactly sure why the pre-gap magic works, but it does, and it's amazing. It's like the shield. We only learned about how to use that computer after it broke the first time, and the first set of miners showed up here.
And they figured it out, or you figured it out after it had broken?
We had started trying to figure it out as soon as it had broken, but within that time, some miners showed up. They decided to stay with us. They live over there. Um, Other weird things. How old do you think I am? Just kidding. Never ask a lady that.
You had that look like, can't answer
No.
that.
Such a good boy. So, that reminds me. Now that you've all got something to drink that wanted it, let's go see your friend. And she leads you back to the hospital.
Yeah.
I think when you guys get there, Fable 42 is sitting very quietly eating like the blandest looking soup with a single piece of bread and a glass of water, and he is painted an eye within an eye on his forehead, um, in like a blue paint, in some sort of blue paint. And he's
More
just simply
banana and onion
calmly,
soup, please.
Yeah. Maybe when they walk in, like Charity tries to lighten the mood by being like, "Well, shoot, Fable, I didn't know you were into finger painting."
he's just he looks up, and while his posture is still very military, like his eyes, now you've there's like a distant look in his eyes, like he's constant, like he looks in your direction and addresses you, but it looks like he's looking past you, and he's just like, and he's like, good morning, I suppose. And
You
he's
must
like,
still be in that alley.
Mm.
he's and he says, no, I am here for the time.
Oh shoot!
There's
I
just
didn't
like
think
a
my joke was that bad.
there was just like the faintest hint of a wry smile when he says, for a time anyway. It's just the but it's like fleeting, and then it's gone. And he
Mm.
goes back to eating his plain soup with his plain piece of bread and his glass of water.
Don't tell me this was your favorite food. Is soup? Question mark.
He he kind of looks at you and gives you like a small smile. Well, he doesn't. He looks in your direction, and he kind of gives you like the faintest smile. Then, and he's like, sometimes one doesn't have time for the indulgences one would otherwise prefer. And like it's almost creepy, because anytime like any of you address him, he looks in your direction, but always seems to be looking past you at this point.
Right, we just treat you like you're a blind person. It's fine.
Eh,
Oh, put these sunglasses on. Now you're not annoying.
And Temperance is going to. What would be the check for like, cause Fable's an android.
uh-huh.
Mm.
What would be the check to be like, androids are basically a soul tethered to a mechanical form. What if that's
Well,
being
Well,
boiled?
biomechanical.
Granny already mentioned that your friend had time displacement.
Yeah,
Okay,
but
so
wondering
and you
Which
if
have
it's
isn't.
affecting
mysticism,
him
right?
physically.
She
Well,
knows something.
I think Rim's check was good enough to be pretty much like, yeah, what's happening here probably
Oh yeah, Rem,
is
did you
probably
actually share that you saw all that stuff with your other friends?
because Rim would probably
Otherwise,
be able to figure out that it has to do that, like the fact that he's been displaced in time has put him a little bit different, and now got he's going through something very mystical.
Right.
But
God, did he die? Apparently, he did die. I'm okay with that. Oh, there he is. AFK, taking life to work but listening. Sorry, Scott.
Um,
So, anyway, this the shield seems to be still in full working order. So you have some time. Um, there are parts of Arcadia that we've just never really decided to explore. Um, a lot of the doorways on the surrounding caverns are guarded by runes from before the gap, and most of them are protection runes to help keep people out, I would assume.
I mean, would they? And he described the runes from the one door we found, the keep out room.
Yeah, she goes, "Yes, I remember from yesterday, but none of the others that have recently come apparently had found that door, and we have no records of it. I mean,
Well,
you're free to check our library, but it's about, you know, 3,000 years out of date plus gaps.
he was meaning more describing the runes that were there and seeing if
Oh,
these are similar runes.
so actually, you do end up going to the library with her, but she pulls out a large, like it's almost as big as she is. She actually ends up getting help. Uh, book and opens it up, and the dust from it wafts out and smells like ancient times. And make mysticism checks if you got them, and you're there.
Smoke
Fable,
me
did you go too?
down.
Are you still
Oh
chilling on
my
your bed?
god.
That's not bad. Check your chart, bro.
I think he would have cleanly finished up and probably would have cleaned up after himself, but he would have followed eventually. It's
Mm.
up to you whether he's made it there yet or not. But he would have probably finished his bowl of soup and his bread and his water first.
Okay. So, hmm. There we go. So, as you were leaving, Charity, to go to the library, you see that same Vesk. Ah, and Granny speaks to him and has him stay in the room because your friend has not finished eating. When you get done cleaning up, Vesk looks at you and says, "Are you ready to go? The Granny Caprani has said that I should take you to her."
Um, I think he probably simply nods, and puts his bow over his shoulder and arrows over his shoulder, like kind of puts his weapons on,
Hmm.
make sure he's and but there's still like a completely like a maybe not completely, but a shift in the way that he carries himself.
Mm.
At this point, like he still has the posture and the stride of a soldier, but the way he's like looks at the world looks is a very different way than what he was before. Whereas maybe like before, he always looked like he was suspicious of everything. Maybe there's a just oddly out of place sereneness that is just that might be slightly unnerving if you realize
Mm.
how desperate the situation is comparatively speaking. Um, but and he quietly follows.
Okay. So he leads you through town. Give me 3 perception checks.
All right.
Oh, wait. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to pause that perception check because the jester has some rolls he needs to make. Jester, it's a new
Oh,
day.
oh yeah, I do, don't I? I have some paradoxes to roll, and I get three of them now. So
And that's perfect because 3 is the magic number. Aw.
it's all right. I can still do stuff with all of those rolls.
I know that 100%. But I would have liked to seen you get two tens.
I would have too, but a 4 and a 6 is still useful to me.
All right. So that flashback's over. Sorry, Charity. Um, this book, when she opens it to the first page, it glows, and you can see that the runes on the page are swirling and moving around. And she says, "Describe the rune again."
Yeah, and he would describe the series of runes from the Do Not
Oh wait,
Touch
I'm
door.
sorry. It was actually Temperance that saw the runes, right? Right?
No, he could read them, but Charity was the one who found them.
Okay. Sorry. Go on.
Plus, I think at one point we had kind of all stopped there, and a lot of us had looked at the door, or at least Claire had
Mm-hmm.
as well.
Yeah.
But he is
But
currently taking a extra big nap for extra big guys.
so a few of those appear on the page with definitions next to them. A few of them, it comes up on the page, but it almost looks like it's been erased, and the definition is scribbled out. Like that's how the gap affected these books.
It's almost as
So,
if someone deleted something from the records.
hmm and most of the ones that you recognize between the talk with your brother and seeing the door yourself are all to keep something from getting out instead of keeping, or to keep something in instead of to keep others out.
Yeah, so yeah, they'd all start swirling, and he would physically point those ones out, be like, "Oh yeah, yeah, yeah." It was ones like, "Oh,
Do you
sweet cornbread."
do you happen to mention what the door looks like while you're describing stuff?
Oh yeah, he'd have gone into like far too much detail.
Oh, okay. Give me another mysticism check then.
Uh, Bam.
Okay. So, as you are going into all the detail about exactly what the door looked like and the materials that you thought it was made out of, the book starts flipping through pages again and lands on a picture of that door.
Yeah, so he's like, and I think it was about like this tall, and he's like using his hands,
Mm.
and about this one. Actually, yeah, that's it exactly. Thank you, book.
And Granny looks down and she's like, "Oh, this is someone from my original timeline. Not one of the ones that kept us in servitude, but a very evil, evil creature. Uh, I'm glad that we never went upstairs and found that door."
You don't
And you
think
said that
that
you did what to prevent the swarm from getting to it?
we collapsed the whole room that it was in.
Hmm.
If the bugs want to try and eat their way through it like they'd been trying before, I mean, they could theoretically, but they'll be taking their sweet time to do it.
Mm. I think we should do more. That, I don't believe, is actually the bug's true goal. But the swarm has the ability to sense magic and magical type things through the many renditions that they are. And the many renditions that will come after will make that leap even further. This specific colony must be destroyed for all our lives and the lives of those that we will give birth to later. But I think I know what they want. We've only went there once, and we decided it was too holy a place to disturb. We should
Mm,
take you there.
if you think that it's, I mean, if it won't offend none by it.
Mm. So, oof, she looks at what time it is, and she's like, I guess there's still enough time in the day. Okay, that is what I wanted. Goes up to here. Close. All right. Did the map change?
Yes, we see a bunch of circles.
Okay, so you're back downstairs in that room that has all the portals. This is so far what I've gotten done for a map. Um, she leads you all the way past those, and I know it's not that far because of how I drew the map. That's on me. But on the far side, which is actually much further than that, there is a cavern leading down. And there's actually no one there. I'm just kidding. There's no one there. Excuse me. I must drink water. Now, at the bottom of this is something ancient and powerful. But, and she takes a deep breath, as you can tell even from here, it doesn't seem to be a bad feeling. And the longer you live here, the more you grow to like the feeling that comes from back here. And it gets interesting the closer you get. But no ill effects, time seer. Read my mind if you must.
Can
Did I go
anyone
dead
here
again?
read minds?
Actually, I don't think Jester can actually read minds now.
No, I cannot.
Ooh, you are far, far away.
Theoretically, Rem maybe could if he has like a telepathy spell.
Uh, that's true. Ooh, hang on. I have controlled all the players. About this time,
Like
the
missing.
you hear a clomping from behind you, and there's Lollipop and Clef.
Hmm.
Good morning, fellas. I didn't mean to sleep in and miss all the fun. What's going on right now?
Have you found something with to aid us in the killing?
She turns and smiles at Clef and goes, "Oh, if I'd known you needed weapons, I hadn't even thought about that. Um,
God detect
yeah,
thoughts.
eh, make a mysticism check for me there, Rim. You know that warm little glow that's the center of the universe?
Okay.
Yeah, that glow seems to be a flame instead of just a glow right here.
So this is where it started from.
Well, at the bottom.
Well, down there, we throw people down there. Or we go down there. Let's go down there.
Okay.
The
But
objectives. Yeah, let's go.
back to the large one.
Yeah, she mentions like weapons, and he probably even leans in a little bit and is like,
When it comes to the swarm, weapons are always a necessity.
Yes, yes. My large friend. I understand that the swarm, especially for someone who was, and she looks into Claire's eyes and goes, was made for such things, needs better weapons than these. If you guys have some time, we have an armory, and anything that's there that you could use to protect Arcadia, and this, the glow, as she points it to the cavern, um, would be helpful. So, not that it will help Clay yet, but he'll be able to get weapon upgrades to equivalent level of whatever he needs from
"Yay,
Arcadia.
we can all do
And it
that
will
with
have
our
the specialness of being an Arcadian weapon.
weapons and armors."
Yes, so let's take a little bit of time and go back up. It's not that far away. And you guys can see what you need.
Perfect. That was actually
Check the
something I was
chart,
thinking about.
Jessica. Yeah, and I thought about it this morning while I was listening to the episode since it'd been a while.
Yeah, if there's an apocalypse bow up there, I'm calling it.
Mhm. Really? Because I'm pretty sure the captain gets first dibs on anything, right?
Can the captain use a bow, considering it takes a special weapon proficiency or the fighting style connected?
Uh, no, but I'll take it anyway, just to spite you. No, I
Well, it's
wouldn't.
okay. There's more than one. The armory is well stocked with most things, though you haven't seen models like these ever. You recognize what they do, and most of them are clearly labeled, but they don't look like they all look like custom pieces.
Well, this is very, very, very good because, for instance, Charity's armor went from giving him +2/+2 to +8/+9.
Mm. But well, you guys are actually doing upgrades. Let me write that so Mira knows to do that. Because
Do they have any
yes.
arrows, trick arrows like grenade arrow type things?
Oh fucker. Fine. Hang on.
If they don't, that's fine. But I was just kind of
Well,
curious.
how would I be Chris if I didn't give you chances?
So
I just love that. Oh, you fucker.
Well, no, I said yes twice and he still asked. All right, so apparently they do. Let me see how many they are. There are three trick arrows with grenades.
3 grenade arrows. So
And all three of them are MK2 arrows with grenade.
is that a MK2? MK2 is like that's a level 10 right there.
Yeah, and I rolled.
Damn. 3 MK2 arrows. Alright, well, uh, let's see where we're at here.
I like random, sir. If you have badass arrows, I bet some of my evil people have badass things too.
Probably.
But there you go. And they're only three. And it's not like grenade arrows you can retrieve. Oh, I retrieved my three grenade arrows. No, they blew up.
So 5th level or lower.
All right, you're not sure when you pick them up what they're made out of. But they seem incredibly sturdy and well made.
Let's see. We'll take at least one with a shock grenades, probably.
I didn't look.
Alright, let's see what kind of crystals I can get.
Yes.
Stagger, push. Hmm. Variant boosts could be nice. I'm definitely not getting rid of that, what's it called? Soulfire. The Electron Least. Electron Minor. Tauan Lesser. Yeah, that's probably actually smarter. Give it a Tauan Lesser, which means staggers on crit. Is a 1d4
What the?
instead of a 1d2.
Hmm.
So now I'm doing 3d4 plus 12 damage when I hit.
And that's with your Solaran weapon plus your crystal.
Yeah.
And remind me, you're shooting a hand crossbow? Sorry, a
Uh,
wrist crossbow?
kind of. Every time he gets into combat, it'll take a different form. But
Is
it's
that
basically...
because of your specific Solaran class? Otherwise, you're supposed to pick it and keep it.
Oh, pick it and keep it? I didn't know that was a thing.
Yes. Unfortunately, that was why whenever... Not Elgas.
Not Zai.
Jesta,
Over what?
what was my Solaran companion that was as good a Solaran as me? I can't remember his name right now.
Nekivo?
Yeah, Netkivo always had a red morning star. That was why Zai's aura was always yellow. It's one of those things that they make you pick in the rule book. But that was why I asked if that was specifically to the electronic, or sorry,
Oh,
the
uh,
electronic,
no,
the
it's just an
electrical Solaran.
electrical flare. Or just the flare in general, you just pick a ranged weapon, I guess.
Okay. Well, and I liked the hand crossbow, especially because uh, I'm old and there's a kick-ass cartoon where the main character had a hand crossbow that was like his super secret thing. He's like, arrow from nowhere. So, I've always liked it.
I mean, that's pretty
But,
cool, yeah.
yeah.
And then level 7. Sword King.
Gesundheit. I was looking at boson crystals. The crit is a d6 bleed. I'm
Mm-hmm.
just like, dang.
Yeah, I went with a Tauan, which is a stagger on crit.
Mm.
So
Even the
just...
level 1. That's hilarious. Yes, a stagger crit is nice, because at least then they can only do one or the other. Okay, I got lost. Alright, so we're getting ready to go down in the room and find out what's at the bottom that makes things happy.
Yes, just, what is it that the sword does? Is when you...
There are also grenades to restock if you need to restock grenades. Cough, cough.
2d4.
Ooh, that's a good idea. I still never did that. Oh,
Sword cane ultra thin.
You know what's great about the grenade arrows is the DC is going to be higher for those than they would be for just a thrown grenade for me because instead of using the strength bonus, which is what you normally use for a thrown weapon, I use a dex
use the
bonus.
dex bonus, which you have.
So that makes the DCs much higher to try to avoid when I use those. But I'm going to use them sparingly because obviously if I don't have a lot, I'm not going to use them nearly as quickly. Hmm.
Rings. Hostage. Needler. Sorry, folks. Looking at equipment. Making sure we're getting everything upgraded.
That is true. Scott, aka Rem, how are you doing? Have you returned? You've returned. I see it now.
Yes.
Now sing for me. I'm just kidding. Are you picking new equipment as well?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. You're good as in you already did, or you're good as like you don't want new stuff?
I already did.
Okay. Did you take
New
that
needle
teeny tiny
pistol.
grasshopper pistol?
What?
I'm just kidding. I'm making
Weird.
things up.
Oh, grasshopper. Okay, I remember now.
Mm.
Ooh, a retractable stinger. That's nice.
La la la. She's like, yes. I don't exactly know how old anything in this armory is, but everything's in good condition. Hmm. Yet another one of the strange things that happens here. But so far for my people and everyone that's stayed with us, it's been fairly positive.
Charity comes out of the armory and he's got new, better armor. It still has the same kind of general style, probably very old and ornate looking compared to the old suit, but still very tactical, if that makes sense, under
Mm-hmm.
his pullover. And the sword on his back has been replaced with one that's even the sheath for it is wafer thin. And Temperance, for his part, when he comes out, has a new needle pistol on his hip and is twirling something on the wrist opposite his microlab, which is connected
Mm-hmm.
to an ejection needle, so a retractable needle that he can pop out. And is just kind of playing around with it. It's on a little string.
Hey.
Go ahead, Scott.
I was gonna say I come out and look exactly the same because the armor is underneath the robes. No one has a clue.
Did you not get a new gun?
Or maybe
It
even
looks the same, but it's
two.
advanced.
Mm.
It's
Anyone
cool.
with, any sense would see that's an upgrade. They'd be like, oh, you got the 911 model now.
You got the gun that won both of the space wars.
You got the gun that shot Liberty Valance. No, that is an old gun.
You got the gun that shot all 41 of the other fables.
Uh, Ah, Fable. Okay. Speaking of Fable,
Do you think? Sorry, real quick thing. So
go
the
ahead.
the naming convention of that is similar to the Exos in Destiny, and there's a
Hmm.
joke with one of them called Banshee 52, I think. And his whole thing is he's been rebooted so many times that he can't remember it. Basic thing, he has robot Alzheimer's. Is this all that's happening now? Is Fable doesn't actually have precog powers? He's just having old man moments.
Nope, nope. He quite definitely has. You actually watched him. You watched him age one of the bugs up front. So that yeah, that kind of seems like a precog power.
I don't know. I think I've seen old people do that when people get in their way from the all you can eat buffet.
Right. They're like, thinner.
Back in my day. And then everyone just
Hey,
immediately
all my back in my
withers.
day stories are fun. Anyway, Fable, what you doing?
um.
I mean, minus the fact that you're like, ooh, grenades and arrows. Did you find the bow that you needed?
Yeah, and I have plugged in new stats for it. I have recorded the arrows that I got, which
Mm.
are a riot grenade arrow, a sticky bomb grenade arrow, and a shot grenade arrow.
Mm. All right. So, like I said, everything
Oh,
here
that's
that you've
delicious.
got, remember to add the sub name Arcadia to. So, so if you got a Mark One grenade, it was an Arcadia Mark One grenade. Those are Arcadian arrows, sir. Mm.
Uh,
How is that called? Sometimes it is heck being old, listeners and watchers. Not that there's much going on. Let's see. Now I understand why Jester says that all the time. Hmm.
2d4 plus 12 plus 2.
Oh, and of course, I forgot that Temperance also has to have new stuff too.
Yeah, he got a new. Uh. Can, fuck. What's it called? I had it just a second ago. A Costoject.
Mm. Need
An
one.
Arcadian Costoject.
Hmm.
We'll see if this was a bad idea, because I just realized it does acid damage.
The Apocalypse Crystal?
No, the Costoject, needle pistol.
Oh, well, you still have time to go get something else. You're still there technically.
Yeah, I just.
And you do remember, because you fought the Swarm many times at this point, that they are immune to acid.
Oh, they are immune to acid. Okay.
Yeah. All swarm are immune to acid, no matter what hive they come from. That's like one of their legit things.
Sweet. Okay, then it'll
At
just be a
least
new
from
needle
all the
pistol.
like research I did. Okay.
Yeah, it'll just be an advanced needler pistol. An advanced Arcadian needler pistol.
Hey, I'm super stoked about it. Oh, there it is. Okay.
Anyway, sorry about that, folks.
Yes. God pauses to let people do things. No, no, no. Ah. All right. So at this point, the sun is very bright. You would assume this is about the noon cycle. Mm. We must possess
Bless you.
what can help us destroy the Ravi. We should go on.
Yeah, I will let Mira handle what exactly Clad will have, but
Yes.
Clad has Schrodinger's new beating stick.
Mm.
It both is and isn't a new beating stick until it is observed by the actual player.
Yes.
It looks like a new thing, but all the textures haven't loaded in yet. But yes, let us be off.
Is everyone ready then?
Uh, I'm ready if you guys are ready.
Just check the chat.
Ready as chicken.
Should be. I got restocked on the regular sticky bomb grenades. Got upgraded the bow, got the arrows, upgraded my knife and my armor, and ready to go.
Mm. Okay. So this time she's like, it has been a long day for me already. You guys know the way now. Be safe.
We'll sure try.
No. We're gonna have fun. That's safe or not? That's dependent on how much fun we have.
Ah. Well, then good luck to you. The Raiders, subsets, and everyone from the future. May I see you shortly? And she leaves. When you get outside that room, everyone is gone. Nah, I'm just kidding.
Right. Okay. To the fire.
Check the chart, Jester.
Everybody took their ball and went home. No,
They wait.
I think when the Capran leave, Fable gives a slight bow, and
Mm,
goes back to checking his weapons.
I have shiny things.
He's
Okay.
organizing.
So while we're walking, be like, so what was that bug chasing you?
What will be, but never was, and should not be. And he smiles at you. He smiles at you and goes, anything more than that is classified. But he basically does that thing where he's looking in your direction, but seems to be looking past you.
So it wasn't a past memory. Got it.
It just depends on your perspective.
Okay, past memory for you, but yeah, I get you. I understand how this works.
Man,
Sorry,
Clearly,
it's
why does
classified.
everything involving time have to be so confusing?
Because if it wasn't, the movie would be over.
Fair.
I think when you say that, like Fable simply gives a very like distant smile.
Yeah. Now Fable has become that girl at parties that's just it looks annoyed at everyone and eventually gets stuff thrown at her.
No, he didn't look annoyed at anybody. He just there's
No.
just a ridiculously peaceful look on his serene look on his face as he looks
Oh,
pretty
no,
much
that
past anyone that's talking to. And
technically that's a very good way to feel while you're in this place. In fact, it's about to feel even better than that. Mhm.
Nice. Nice.
So, as you guys walk across the field through the portals or around the portals even, everyone make perception checks. um,
Perception.
I never gave you Claire, did I? One moment.
20, 24? Yep, 24.
so
20.
And
we
what
see
do
the
I have?
same.
I do not have clay.
I know, I'm about to fix that.
No, no, that was just me asking myself.
Oh.
I was like, do I have him? I thought I did.
And
Man, my characters, it's like one gets to have the. Mom
is he
said
there
it's
yet?
my turn to have the. There he is.
Okay.
Mom said it's
Alright,
my
folks.
turn to have the good rolls. Ooh, Klez. Not. Klez gets so few points.
Mm.
My boy.
Yeah, soldiers don't get a lot in the way of skill
Skill
points.
points.
Yep.
Klez just staring at his new weapon, being like, textures. Please load so that I may know if this will kill the Ravi.
So, let's see. Hang on. Gotta do this right. So. Really? Oh, there we go. Oh, I thought that would work. Let's try again. Nope. Alright, fine. Oh, there it is. Good. And then.
I will be back in just a moment, friends.
Okay. What was that, Jessica?
I was just making noise in here because I'm still snuffling, coughing, hacking, and dying slowly.
Okay.
Or looking past everybody, because looking people in the face is foreign for future people.
No, no, he used to look you in the face. It's not a thing that a future thing. It's has more to do with this class. From a mechanical perspective, I'm done advancing as a soldier. I've gotten the levels I need as a soldier. It's going to be all, and this is that sort of transition from soldier to more precog. Being he'll still have his soldier abilities, obviously, but this is sort of transition area right now. Well, he's probably going to maintain the 1,000-yard stare thing, as far as I know. But for the most part, like the change in attitude is from a narrative point. From this point forward, he's becoming more of a precog than a soldier.
He's a used to was.
Yeah. So technology is kind of cool. I know you can use magic and technology together. You
Yes.
should look into that. That's kind of cool.
Oh, you're back. Good.
He
All right.
actually does. He uses he his arrows are high tech, but his trick arrows are high tech, and he does carry a powered weapon with him, a frostbite knife.
All right.
Zero knife.
I know, but it's just
Zero knife.
magic. I like understanding magic. Just as we're walking.
Charity.
Yes.
You see the one that I marked, Ellis?
Yes.
Okay. So as you're walking by that one, for the briefest moment while you look, you see your room at the orphanage. But not like your room specifically now. There's someone else in it, some other alien child with no parents. And it appears to be present day. And then it flickers, and now it looks like a stretch of desolation on Eox. And you see a bone mage in the like background doing something, scribbling something large on a wall, and then it flickers again, and there's nothing. Fable, when you walk by your portal, you see places that you recognize, but are before your time. Like, it's too nice, but it's the place that you remember, like before it got bombed out, something like that. And then you see a completely different place, a fucking grand desert with three suns, and then nothing. And it'll be the same for each of you. Rem, you see Kasatha first for a long stretch. You see the Kasathan sun that you had only been told about and seen video footage as a child in school. And then it flickers again, and you are pretty sure it's actually Vest Prime, except topside. And then you see nothing else. And the portals are still again.
Well, that was weird. Okay, where are we going?
See that red circle on the far side?
Right.
Yeah, Charity, for his part, walks a little slower and looks a little confused at
I was
that.
going to say, and Temperus also saw the same things that you saw. That's why you only had one portal.
Yeah. I was going to say if he didn't see anything, he was probably too uh,
So
focused.
you're both connected enough, I believe, that he would have sensed it and then looked.
Yeah.
Mm.
And if not, he was too busy being like, he's got a new crystal. I need to watch him and make sure that this one isn't going to cause any problems.
Explode. Yeah, and that makes sense too. In fact, I have to look again. Ah, look, there's a 5. So I don't even think Cloud looked up. He's just like, to the tunnel
Yeah.
to get my
Kill
things
the
right.
Ravi.
Clay strikes me as a incredibly single-minded person.
Right? A Cled joke is 3 Ravi walk into a bar. I behead them all. Ha 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 ha.
3 Ravi walk into a bar.
They are foolish and walk directly into it. Ha 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 ha.
Mm. Ah. Okay, so you make it to the mouth of this tunnel. Um, you can all make mysticism checks. That way, I'm not telling you how you feel.
Boom.
Yeah, that was a boom. Look at that, 35 for Rem. If you're happy and you know it, that's everyone. That warm little glow that is the center of the universe is much stronger here for some weird reason. Um, there is definitely mystical, magical energies afoot and auras in this tunnel. Did I die?
No,
Is everyone there? Okay. Sorry.
Charity's still is giving it like not a wide berth, but or like not a wide berth. Like he still looks a little concerned to be in this strange place that has magic from before the gap. But there's maybe a little bit more of a pep to his step, and he like puts his headphones on and is listening to some peppy music.
Mm, nice. So, are you going down? It's going to take you a while. Are you going to stay here and try to use the lab to do something crazy that I don't know about?
Nope,
You
we walk in. At least I do.
good. You disappear.
Yeah,
No.
I can't really think of anything else.
Okay. You do notice that there isn't sunlight in this tunnel. That is actually something to know. No one's not going to be like, oh, suddenly it got dark over there. But I still ain't like that scared about that. If you are afraid of the dark, you're not afraid of this tunnel for some reason.
Oh, Fable's going to have an arrow knock ready.
Thump, 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 thump.
Yeah, and there's actually a thing when Charity walks into the dark now. He's removed the infrared sensors off of his armor, and you see that there's just a spark in his eyes, and he just can see in the dark now.
Oh, nice.
Because Solarians are fun like that.
Special powers. Yes. Yes, Solarians are fun. Ladies and gentlemen, if you get the chance, I suggest a Solarian. Be whatever race you want. But Solarians are a great class. If you want to kill things and be cool too.
Right.
So you went
And
down
all
first.
true. Yeah,
Okay, so how do you have dark vision as well?
I could.
Do you have those powers? Because I'm pretty sure you don't. No, I think you have low light vision though. Oh, okay. Um,
I've got low light vision and dark vision, so I'm good.
show off. I don't see it.
Fine, I cast dark vision on myself.
If you have that ability, that's fine, sir. Otherwise, I'm literally looking and I don't see it. And I'm pretty sure as I never had it, so. Justa?
I'm sorry, what?
Sothans don't have dark vision, right?
Who don't have dark vision?
Kasafas.
No, I don't think so.
Okay. I'm on page 46 and I don't see it. Okay. So yeah, you cast dark vision on yourself. All right. This is a long, natural tunnel leading down, but it's incredibly dark in here. Hmm. I guess there'd be some light, so long as. Well, no, you could keep it off.
I don't need it. I can see. I keep walking. He
Okay,
gets the
you run
dark
into
or
a
like
wall.
dark vision. No, I got dark vision.
I know. I know. It just appeared in front of you. You couldn't get out of the way. No, that's not true either. Just messing with Scott. So anyway, it keeps going down. Like literally, you're going down this tunnel and it's kind of weaving and it opens up a little bit and then it gets kind of tight. But the further in you go, the fucking warmer that little center of the universe fills in your fucking souls.
Well, whatever it is down here, I think we're getting closer to it.
Hmm. Another hour or so goes by. Um, Give me a perception check, everybody. Unless you refuse to see things, that's an option, I guess. Oh, you all refuse to see things.
There's that perception.
I got a 20, so
Let's see how
Uh,
Claire does. Lucky number 7.
I see nothing. Let us move forward.
I see no bugs.
You told you, Claire, there's no bugs down here. There's something else. Something ancient. Wait, that was the wrong accent. Da, 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 da. Yep. Can we move on? There are some glyphs on the walls as you're going down. Um,
Are those
so
the same?
no, these aren't protection glyphs, but they are of some weird language. So, I mean, you can make a culture check to see if you can read it now. Except for Rem, because he didn't see anything. I'm just kidding. Except for Clay. Well, it seems to be part of a
Wow.
story of what's down here. Holy crap.
Yeah,
Go, go, Ellis.
the
The
Essel
bonuses of growing up.
brothers.
Bonuses of growing up in an orphanage in space, where everyone speaks a different language.
You gotta learn. You might not be able to speak the language fluently, but you know enough to get by.
Uh,
But
Sorry,
yeah,
I
what
just
is
thought.
the story?
So, there's something about the planet that disappeared, and how a piece. And one of them is kind of hard to read, even though you did amazing. Of the Star Stone was lost and fell into the hands of a god who died. And right about that time, there's a light in front of you.
And huh. So this actually does tie into the most recent Pathfinder stuff.
Which is funny because I am not caught up on Pathfinder stuff.
Well, it's called the Age of Lost Omens, and there's a dead god involved in it.
Oh, that's great. See, Justin, I do it too.
Haha.
Hmm. All right. So you specifically, Fable, make a perception check. No. Hmm. Make a mysticism check instead. Oh, nice. But I'd like you to talk to me though.
How's a 24 suit you?
Okay, so that's great. Um, Part of this that you see before you seems to be encased in, it looks like a strange metal called selenium, and
Hmm.
it's about the size of a basketball, this thing, and it's wrapped around this teeny tiny piece of starstone. And then you can see layers of magic on it because you're the awesome Fable 42. Um, that would prevent you from actually like trying to touch that piece of starstone.
Hmm.
And this is all like, oh, and then give me a will save.
Okay. Let's see how that goes here. 13
Oh,
plus 2 versus mind affecting, poison, sleeps, etc.,
oh,
etc.
well, good, because even with that +2 that you needed, it's not quite that fun for you. You are hit with a blast of new memories from the future, things that you're remembering. Um, this is the object that the swarm managed to get and harness in a way that gave them the edge and is the reason that you are fighting and running away from mutated fucking bugs that are super evil. And because you did so poorly on your will save, you take 6 points of psychic damage as you're rocked from the fucking memories.
Alright.
But it still hits your SP first.
Alright. Yeah, I think there's a slight reeling back, and it's like, and be like, let me think of something appropriate here. You'd probably say, but for the tears of a goddess weeping in the madness of her brother, it's like the futility swept up on the futility all swept up into one and given birth to nightmares, the folds and the wrinkles reveal more than what will be and something other than what was. And he kind of like leaves it at that. He just,
Mm.
Yeah, so
Um,
you're gonna talk all weird like, not just say.
Temperance and
Charity.
or no,
Oh.
Rim. Temperance and Rim make perception checks.
And Temperance ain't doing too hot on those.
It was still actually what we needed because you notice about that time, Lollipop, who's been fairly quiet through all of this, is falling from the air, having also failed a will save when they got hit with a bunch of stuff. So do me a favor, and well, no, it's up to you. There's a chance that you could catch them, or someone else could try,
Uh,
and they're only 15 feet up. It's not that bad.
Temperance would actually call to Charity and be like, Charity, quick, grab him. And he is going to, when he gets low enough, use his implant to lower the gravity around himself in order to gently get him down to the ground using
I
his
love it.
gravitational harness.
Mm.
As we see, like, it to everyone else it seems like the back of his pullover just rustles a bit, but underneath his armor, these implants along his spinal column all pop up and hum with a anti-graviton field to lessen the gravitational force in the area immediately around him by one step.
For the briefest of moments, Lollipop wakes up and goes, "Well, you may not be as smart as me, but thank God you can catch. Thanks, man." And then he passes back out.
I think that's probably the closest any of us are ever going to get to a thank you from him.
Mm. And now we'll have
Right.
stuff for him to like remember when he gets back. Excellent. Excellent. Except his stuff is always laced with triumph. Anyway, so um you got a supremely useless answer from the one guy that could have like helped. Um
Actually, you know what?
no.
Somebody could probably make a culture check to get the reference to the gods, because it's not like that's like
That's
a pure
true.
knowledge. Fables being
Rim,
obtuse, but anybody with
how are
like
you at culture?
Okay, so there's a +2 to history.
That will be a bonus. Go ahead and roll
Yeah.
culture for me, bro.
So that'd be a
Okay.
26.
After hearing the strange and chaotic phrases from your friend, it gives you a reference to that story, and then with your +2, you're all like, "Oh yeah, I do remember a story about that." Are you? And then you remember Shelenium.
yeah.
I would look at him and be like, "You couldn't say just Selenium. You made me had to think."
Mm.
Oh well.
Now, also because that culture check was that high, you have been to Absalon, and you have went on the tour that took you down there to see, to get as close as you can to the Starstone without the defensive system going off and trying to kill everyone. So, you recognize that as well. Do you tell anyone else? Or do you say cryptic things to the rest of the party now, too?
So this has to tie with the Starstone not blowing up and killing us when we walk near it, right?
Mm. Yeah, the selenium is what's giving everything that happy, happy go lucky feeling, and it's being amplified by a insurmountable power source that is the fucking Starstone.
Ew. Okay. So I look at everybody like, y'all know how y'all feel like awesome and happy? Well, that's this thing. Plus, it's amplified by that little Starstone thing. Y'all pass it? Oh no, you were unconscious. But the rest of us, when we passed it, it was like enhancing it type thing. Well, it is enhancing. You understand? Yeah.
The Essel brothers are actually probably pretty. They look kind of intrigued and a little stunned when they hear mention of Starstone, since, I mean, both of them are from Absalom and supposedly can both trace their time back to when Absalom was an island and not a space station. So they probably know a fair bit about the Starstone and the Starstone Challenge.
Mm.
Yeah,
So yeah,
Zon Kuthon and Shelyn are pretty old gods, and Shelyn being the sort of well known sister of Zon Kuthon.
mhm, yes, he's
But
beautiful.
that's something that Rim would just probably know, but I would not have like said specifically that Fable wouldn't have specifically said. He would have just
Mm.
he knew you'd figure you'd know what he was talking about.
Yeah, I state it straight out. Be like, oh, it's like an old god dude.
Quite quite certain to, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
instead of
she'll
the
li-
cryptic way he did it.
so basically, when Zon Kuthon fell, like to become the god of madness and torture and things like that, like his sister Shellen cried tears, and Shelenium is rumored to be the tears of Shellen.
We just made a cannon, baby. No, I'm just kidding.
And then,
Either way, it's magic shit.
Yeah.
it's hard to believe that little piece of the stone that wiped out the
Galorion?
well, there was an empire on Galorion before the Age of Woe when the Starstone crashed, and I think it was the first. It was a human empire. It was the first version of the Aslanti.
Yes. We don't talk about the Aslanti. I'm just kidding. We do.
Yeah. So it might even mention that, be like, hard to imagine something so amazing and perfect could be responsible for wiping out an entire empire. If only Aslanti had stayed gone.
Well, okay. I mean, kind of. Everybody needs a chance. But yeah, I understand what you're saying.
Because aren't the modern Aslanti, like,
Supremacists?
huge human supremacists?
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
super racist.
Yeah. They're like, yeah, we're in control and you can live here and be in our non-human army. Good luck.
I mean, it's not that we hate non-humans, we just think you're less.
But not in a bad way.
Well,
Yeah.
it's sort of like anyone that's not a human in the Aslanti Empire is like a third class citizen. Fuck being a second class
Yes.
citizen, they're like a third class citizen.
They're like, no, no. Team Forearms, you go live in the slum.
Team Forearms? Cringe!
But
No.
anyway, that's enough about the Aslanti Empire. They are good bad guys, and it's a nice place to have come from and been like, yeah, I left that place because they suck. I'm sorry, I'm human. I'm trying to fix that now.
I mean, someone from Zai's Folly came from a timeline where the Aslanti conquered the known galaxy.
Yeah, and they're almost as bad as the Swarm as far as that goes. In fact, in some ways, probably worse. Because they don't destroy all life, they just manipulate it. Anyway, these are some of the thoughts that happen in this weird cavern, but you still feel pretty good about life. So, here you are with a super magical object from the before four times.
I'm almost
Um,
afraid to go near it.
That's you. That's
Well,
cool.
Because it's one of those things, yes, this is an immensely powerful thing, so who knows what happens if you go near it.
well,
I take a step towards it.
you feel happy.
Happy, happy, joy, joy, happy, happy, joy.
If it turns you guys into that, I'm done.
Start
I'm not even gonna roll for that chance.
Yep.
That'll be my 1%. Um. Okay, so you take another step towards it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's a magical item. It's kind of cool. It's like
Um. You're now within 5 feet. You feel incredibly happy. Um. I mean, it's ridiculous. You're not giddy, but just all of the weight of the world that is on every person's soul just seems to be so not there. Every muscle in your back feels great. Your heart is pumping at the appropriate beats per minute, and your bladder is empty. I'm just kidding. That last part's not actually important. Um, but yeah, And so you're within touching range if you want to try. Or, hmm,
All right, and I'm gonna pull a Cyrus. I'm gonna roll a 1d2.
okay.
All right, I touch you.
Boom, you're dead. No, I'm just kidding. I would only pull that on, a precog. No, I'm just kidding. Sorry, Jester. Messing with your brain. So, it stops hovering in midair, and it's there. At this point, make a perception check.
Well, it's there.
There are some words, but you can't make them out for whatever reason. That's not high enough. But now you know there are words. Uh,
Man,
so
I wish I
you
could
watch
read
him
that.
walk up there, and he picks it up, and then he kind of stares at it for a minute, confused. And he's just kind of there now, looking at it while you guys are looking at him.
Charity will step up and be like, "What you looking at? Something interesting?"
Yeah, there might be words, there might not be. I don't know. I can't say. There might be words. Something.
Uh
Uh,
huh.
Throw it at him, quick! Nah, don't throw
Here,
it at him.
look at the
What?
word.
Yeah, he holds it out. He'll gently
Yeah.
take it into his hands.
Hmm. Alright, so you know there are some words on it. Go ahead and give me a culture check. Oh. Yeah, there are definitely some words.
Yep, these are words.
Told you. Just don't have a clue what they say.
Nope.
Check the charts there.
I'll take a culture roll on that. 27.
There are no famous pilots on here, I'm sorry.
But is it a ship?
Is it
It is
right?
not a ship.
Is it etc.?
Hmm.
It
It is
technically it is
not better.
etc.
Hang on one moment.
Just not the correct kind of etc.
I
Right.
can't actually find my piece of paper that has the name I gave it on it. Hmm. Fine. Give me a sec, guys.
No worries.
Okay, time's up.
Yeah, I'm almost there. So, the Hago Yaman, you're pretty sure that's what it says. It seems to be some weird dialect that predates Elvish.
Hmm. Does it seem like it's related to the Elvish language?
Well, that was how you got that close to whatever the word actually is.
Ah, okay.
You're like, I've
That's
seen
fair.
this. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Fable kind of like calmly like lowers his bow, looks at the writing, and he's like, Hegeomen.
Bless you.
Hegoyomen? How does that mean anything to any of you?
I mean, it sure sounds fancy.
Oh, I thought you sneezed.
Hagoyaman! Hagoyaman!
Could it
Bless
be
you.
a person or maybe a place like a planet? I mean, all of these portals are
It's
going
related to.
somewhere.
It seems to have roots in the Elvish tongue.
So, is there an Elven planet? I don't know. I'm just
Yes, you know
throwing
about
random
the Elven
things.
planet.
So
What's it
maybe
called?
it's a place on Castrovel?
That's the one. Thank you.
This is their god? What's the Elven god? I
It's
don't know
not
their
Which,
name either.
Hagoyaman.
which one?
Yeah, they've been around long enough. They made most of them, or at least were around. Even if they don't remember.
Oh, if Hegoyomen is a place on Castrovel, I would probably know it because I'm from Castrovel. Future Castrovel nonetheless.
It doesn't ring a bell as being somewhere on Castrovel that you'd ever heard of.
Okay.
So it's
So,
not a place. Establish that.
At least not a
Well,
place in
not
the
a.
Pact Worlds.
all right, lads. So we got this thing, and the one who's all speaking in tongues and such is all like, "Oh, this is Hagoyaman." I have no clue what that means at the moment. If you give me a sec, I might have a tick, but right now, I just can't seem to come up with it. What are we
Well,
gonna do with
Right.
this thing now that we've got it? Captain, what
Write
do
it
you think?
down.
Write it down?
oh yeah, like already Temperance is like put this in his logs.
Actually, I was trying to see if that was what Scott said.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay.
Yeah, that's
I
what I
thought it
said.
too after
Write
I
it
said it.
down somewhere. Be like, write this word down because we can't. Are we carrying this light with us, or are we putting it back, Mister Future Boy?
Yeah, you said something about this being important.
Bum bum bum. Consequences.
The swarm cannot get a hold of this. Part of how the future. He says this was a catalyst. The future has changed more than once since I have been here and back and here again.
Charity and or temperance. Do either of you take the orb to study it from your friend,
Uh,
or do you
ch-
just stare at it while Rim holds it?
Charity is the one holding it right now.
Oh, well, yeah. You know the Star Stone, because you're from there, is what powers Absalon Station. And the only way there's ever a problem with power is if the grid gives out that's directing power from the Starstone to it, not because the Starstone runs out of power.
So, what would probably cross their mind is that Arcadia would run out of power if we took this thing.
No. Arcadia runs off something else.
Okay, okay,
Arcadia runs purely from magic, not because of the presence of this.
okay, good.
Okay, so my question is, how do we keep this safe from the bug people? Leave it here? They get secure enough down here, or your future events will still happen. They'll get down here and get it, or we keep it with us, and they have to go through us to get this superpower,
Well,
weird power thing.
Granny already said that they know it's here, and that they've been trying to get to it.
No, that they decided to leave it alone after they did it the first time.
Ah, that I I I don't know. Taking something
They've
as
been treating this more as like a religious site to be left alone.
Oh, I meant like the swarm is coming, has been
Oh
coming for
yeah, no.
this.
The reason the swarm wants it is because, well, give me an engineering check because you haven't given me one for a while.
Temperance will be doing that in the background. Oh, that scared me.
It scared me too. Um, when Temperance is doing the normal things that Temperance does as far as, scientific things and engineering things, the power output of this thing almost breaks the pad. Just goes off the chart, so to speak.
The power this thing gives off is exceptional. It's probably what the swarm want with it.
Is there a way to like shield the emissions of said power source so that it can be hidden? And we could take it so they don't. Well, no, because if we take it out of here hidden wise, they'll be like, "Oh, it's still down there. Go destroy and kill everybody," and that would be bad. So, sorry, thinking out
Either
loud.
way, I don't think that we should leave it here because the swarm will keep coming as long as they think it's here. And they just can't get a hold of something like this. The Starstone empowers all of Absalom Station. This is just a little tiny piece of it, but who knows what they do with it.
So we take it, let them know that
Sable, do
we
you
have
ever
it.
touch it?
Shit, got it. So we have to let them know we have it, so they trace us and not come down here and kill everybody. Got it.
Because the power signature that Temperance just discovered, that's probably what they were looking for. Either that, or maybe some future knowledge of some sort. Chart, sir.
The only way I know that we would be able to keep this thing safe, the swarm will have an answer, but only in the future.
So what?
History
Take it?
records no other way to shield no other way to shield what this the signature of this thing. Somehow the swarm had devised a way, or they will devise a way if they gain access to it.
So what? Do we take this to the past?
I think he shrugs. He says, he's like, I must ponder on this. Perhaps, perhaps they're. He kind of he ponders on it. It's like, of course, I don't believe history records anyone successfully attempting to create any. Just the fact that that I have returned to this same time period, whence not whence that was not the intended purpose. Things have changed here already. Time is fluid in some places. It's rather hard to say whether this early of a discovery of this item would necessitate events that might lead to scientists of this era coming up with a way of shielding its signature, but it did not happen in the past that I know. Either, or, well, any of them.
Okay, so we take it. Got it.
Yeah, basically it's a long-winded I don't fucking know because history doesn't cover this because I've read 3 different versions of history and none of them did this particular event happen.
So we're changing the future by taking it out. Got it. That's what we're gonna do.
I would
So,
caution a discovery upon this scale in this era will definitely change the future, but for good or for ill. And he just sort of he just sort of shakes his head like, you know, not a real like basically yeah, you know, it could change the future, but it could have be a bad thing too.
Well, isn't that pretty much every decision in existence changes the future? See, you're confusing me with your time loop thing, but I always thought every decision makes a different outcome for the future or something.
Some make greater differences than others. The magnitude of power that this thing is capable of creating or at least channeling is big enough that it could inspire a much faster leap in technology than occurs in the history I know. That isn't necessarily a good thing. After all, the swarm are hardly the only. Hmm. And he stops to think about it a minute about it. He's like, I don't have a clear answer, but I do understand a certain amount of probability, or possibility anyway. A branching paths, this thing could revolutionize the technology needed to destroy the hive, but the consequences beyond that could potentially create greater villains and greater tragedies. I'm uncertain. And he kind of and he just sort of like falls silent. Like there is a like uh, he's obviously contemplating the sort of temporal ramifications and
All right,
possibilities.
boys. So we decided to keep this thing. Who's carrying it out of here?
I'll
I'll
raise my
keep my.
hand.
Oh, yeah. Here.
Oop,
You can take it. You were the
okay,
first to touch it. You seem to know the most. Well, you're probably the best
farewell.
of us when it comes to mystical stuff.
Rem is the possessor of the Hagelman, the Hegel Yaman. So you finally make it after a couple hours back to the top, and the glow is still with you. You're all incredibly like feeling like everything can go your way. And as you make it back through the portals, um, Rem make both a mysticism check and a perception check. As you're walking by each of the portals and look into it, it stops on whatever the picture might happen to be at the time. But instead of immediately skipping to the next thing, so long as you're concentrating on the image in the portal, it stays.
That's cool.
Now, um, for a brief moment, Kasatha once again enters your mind because that was the first thing you saw in the portal. And when it does, the picture changes on the portal in front of you, and there it is.
I always
Yep.
wanted to see that. It's
Mm.
cool.
Yeah, the home world of Kasath is kind of about 5 degrees more fucked up than Akaton. That's why they left in the first place.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I didn't get a choice to if I got to see it or not. I wasn't
Not
given a
only
choice.
that, but there are still Kasatha there, just not many. The holdouts, the ones that are like, I'm gonna stay until the sun dies, and then I may leave. All right. So anyway, that's what's going on as you walk through the portals.
Wait, how do we get out of this? You blew
It's
up
the
the
other
stairs.
side. Oh, you want the stairs? Hang on. There you go.
Yeah, still Fable still got an arrow knocked, but he does seem very contemplative as he follows the rest of the group.
Right. Are we going back to our little ship? I guess we're done down here.
Mm.
Got the big power thing.
When you come up to the next floor, there's some Compran there. They all look fairly relieved to see you, I guess. And, of course, they immediately notice nothing because it's probably under his robes. All right.
Yeah.
Now, maybe they notice that the feeling is much more intense all of a sudden. But that's enough.
Everybody
Anyway,
feels happy around me.
one holds up its finger and then gets on a comm, and you hear some like things. And then you hear Granny Capran voice come over the comm. And then moments later, you hear her common voice, so to speak, her magical, mystical common voice. And she's like, I'll be there shortly.
Granny's coming.
Hello. I'm glad you've returned. And I see that the orb has chosen you. Interesting. I thought it might.
That's kind of cool, don't you think? Yeah.
Hmm. So, what is the plan?
Let the bug people know that it's not down here, so they let you guys live in peace.
Hmm. Ah, peace. What fun is that? To what? No, just kidding. She does not go crazy and fucking attack everybody. Um, so at this point, make a perception check. And don't roll a one.
I rolled a
Okay.
10. The hell?
Yeah, that's good enough. So, because you just had some recent contact with a whole bunch of selenium that you're holding under your robes, um, you notice at this point that Granny Caprani is wearing a necklace that's also made out of selenium. And that's why whenever she first came up, you were like, oh, that's why she makes me feel good inside.
Oh, nice necklace. Anyways,
Anyways, how did it go? What did you do? What's the plan? How do we defeat?
well, yeah,
Where you?
let them know
Yeah.
we have it, so they leave you alone and figure out what the heck that word meant.
All right. So make a precog check.
A precog check.
I was hoping you know what I meant. Uh,
Are you talking about mysticism there?
yeah, that'll be less fun. But go ahead.
About a 26.
Nope, nothing happens. I'm sorry. You're on chart.
If you're looking for me to use augury, I that spell.
You didn't take that spell.
No, I did not. I took
Oh.
I well, I actually took different stuff. I increased my I got the next up on my death's door, and I took social reset so I can re-roll failed diploma culture checks to recall knowledge or change attitude re-roll diplomacy to change attitude or gather information.
So if you had that 10, you could add that to your mysticism right now. or it would just replace your mysticism right
It
now.
would just well, it wouldn't even affect my mysticism. It's only for culture to recall knowledge or diplomacy to change attitude or gather information.
All right, so give me the culture to recall knowledge then.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm gonna say,
I mean, make that original roll. You don't have to use a precog for it.
all right.
Oh,
That's
look at that.
26. So
So
I actually put points in
when you are
culture.
asked about the plan, you get a flash forward back.
All right.
Um, you're inside of a Ravi ship,
All right.
and you see the science bugs in the background, and you are on a table, and you see that they are removing DNA from you. And then we fade to black. Hello, everybody. Tonight you watched the Shardverse 1385, and I just did a mind blower. Woo! No, crazy stuff's happening. And hopefully next week everyone will be back, and those people will get to also see what awesome things are going on. And everyone send me player's choice.
All right.
Though technically it could be a four-way tie, or you could all, whatever. But and other than that, psychopathic. Why don't you give us a start?
Oh wait, that's me. I forgot
Yes.
my own name. I have issues. Okay, well, I played Rim, and Rim's got this really cool magic thing. He likes magic. Why wouldn't he carry this singer? Makes him feel better. Why not? What else are you in? Thursday, New Amsterdam. I'll be in that. I have no idea what happened. I made a friend that everybody hates, but hey, he's a fun friend. Um, and then when we get to after the bomb, I'm in that. And then when we get to Gloomfall on Sunday, I'm in that too. And that's all I can think of. 'Cause I don't know.
Okay, and let's see. So, Jester King?
Hello, everybody. I'm sorry if you've heard my odd coughing, hacking, sniffling. The changing of seasons in my hometown has hit my allergies pretty hard, so I'm kind of miserable right now. But hopefully, I'll be feeling a little bit better next week, a little bit more adjusted and what have you. You've caught me tonight playing Fable 42, a soldier slash precog, and he's starting to get a little bit more heavy on the precog stuff as he's gained a few more powers and spells and what have you. So he's going to be. It's going to be interesting to see where it goes there, as far as being able to kind of stretching out what I'm doing with the character role playing wise a little bit. Uh, see a little bit of changes, but you can also catch me on every other Sunday night for Gloomfall whenever we get back to it. And been a lot of scheduling issues going on with people's schedules changing, and wedding anniversaries, and you know the stuff that goes on this time of year. But hopefully we'll be back to it soon. I'm looking forward to that. Not in anything else currently, but stay tuned. And I'm going to kick this one on down the line.
Well, that would be my favorite Punham, also known as Rowan.
Hi ho, friendolas. My name is Ron, otherwise known as Night. I got me here today playing Charity and Temperance Essel, who are both in over their heads and yet perfectly where they should be, and who have agreed, yes, we are going to take the funny haha rock and we are going to get it away from the big scary bugs. I also kind of played Claire, who just wants to kill the Ravi. Like, every time that he is not killing bugs, he is a little bit more depressed. But he has a new beaten stick, so that's going to be fun. You can also catch me here on Wednesdays where I am in Over the Horizon, where I play Snow, and we are going to have to deal with fucking Bob again. And on
Fucking
Thursdays, you can
Bob.
find me in New Amsterdam, where I play Cachette, who's going to kill some Nazis, and that's going to be fun. And this Thursday will, or not this Thursday, this Friday will be Yakshas, where, man, everyone was going aggro, and a lot of stuff happened last time. You should come and see it, as we are back with our second season. Every other Friday, I run the Immortal War, an L5R game where, man, everyone speed ran like 10 sessions worth of content last time. It was super exciting. You should also go and see that game. And that is it for me.
Okay, so bookkeeping out of the way. Everybody gets a level, and Fable gets another 1,000.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Yay! So, and that leaves me, David the Gnome, otherwise known as Miller. You can find me here only on Monday nights. This is the crazy game that I run, and I like chaos. And the Jester has provided all of that I need and then some for me. And what he doesn't get me, everyone else does. And that's why I love these people. Like I said, guys, next week hopefully we'll have a full crew and everybody will get to do their stuff. I know that the Computer King is excited for what's about to happen, and I'm sure that Claire is ready to kill more Ravi. And with that, let's get a Ravi Kala and get out of here, guys.
Ravi
Ravi
Kala!
Kala.
Kala.